And testing, UGC. I got a couple of thoughts about this upcoming bout. It's official now. Canelo will be returning this year, 2026, in September. The exact date is September the 12th. He's going to be facing the current WBC champion, Christian Mbili. Christian Mbili finally getting his opportunity. Had a very tough matchup in his last bout, and which was a draw. I can't remember his opponent right now, but he been doing good, and Billy has been doing good at the super middleweight division. And this is one of the matchups that me and the team in the UGC have talked about. We've talked about how styles, how in Billy's style matches up versus a guy like Canelo. And you know what I realized, man? Canelo's really starting to look rough nowadays, man. It's interesting too, man, that I noticed that they were taking the pictures and stuff out there in Egypt, for the last event that took place with Usyk, took on the kickboxer guy, and they were out there, and Canelo, of course he's showing up to the event because he want to show his face and promote his upcoming bout in September, but also supporting his stablemate in Frank Sanchez. And I didn't even realize that Frank Sanchez was in the Reynoso camp until today. And when I was putting together a little bit of a short video, highlight video of Torres getting knocked the heck out. But yeah, man, Frank Sanchez got the early knockout, and now it's a little bit suspicious because we're talking about Reynoso camp, who has a multitude of cheaters. The list is so long, man. We've stopped keeping up. But I just find it weird that with all the other great fighters that were surrounding Canelo, when they started taking the pictures, the group pictures, they want to throw Canelo in the middle like he's still the guy. And I see that they still trying to push Canelo as the face and all of that. But yeah, man, it's just getting more and more disgusting. Year by year, L after L, Canelo is still the guy that they want to push to the forefront. And the picture don't even look right. Don't even look right. You got Bud in the picture, you got AJ in the picture, Usyk. And I think out of all those guys, Canelo's the only one that's coming off a loss. But shout out to him, man. He's a former undisputed champion at super middleweight, and he's getting an opportunity to become world champion again after they distributed the belts after Crawford retired from shitting on Canelo, taking the belts off of him, and Billy was able to pick up a vacant. So shout out to him. The Mauricio WBC special to allow Canelo get up in there. And one thing that kind of stood out was how, I guess they still using Bud Crawford name to promote the upcoming bout. And it's so funny, man, because I've never seen so much of a fight for a rematch for Canelo. More than this Crawford loss that he took. Wasn't really a huge outcry for him to face Floyd, because Floyd, basically 12 zipped that fool. Bivol basically 12 zipped him too. I mean, he may have got a round or two or something like that in that fight, but it was a no contest. It wasn't even competitive. So nobody really made a huge outcry for Canelo getting that fight. As a matter of fact, he didn't make an outcry either. But for some reason, this loss that he recently took to Bud stings a lot more than the rest, I guess. It's interesting that, all of these statements want to be made about Crawford needs to come out and he owes the boxing fans this rematch. why didn't Canelo get a rematch clause? You know, and the answer to that is because he was so convinced that it was easy money. You know, and to be honest with you, he has nobody but to blame but himself. You know, if he didn't underestimate Bud Crawford, and if it wasn't moving like a ducker, you know, because he was swerving all the mega fight in Benavidez to take the lesser evil in Crawford, and got his ass beat up, you know, and got all his belts took. And Canelo been looking bad. He looked depressed out there. You know, I saw him. He had a little bit of a good spirit when he seen Frank Sanchez get the knockout. But other than that, the dude looked out of place. He don't even look like he wanted to be there. And the more and more I think about this matchup with Canelo and mbili, where Canelo's still bitching and crying about the Crawford rematch, and him complaining about coming off injuries, because he wasn't saying nothing about no injuries until he got that loss versus Crawford. So now all of a sudden he's supposed to be healed now, and he ready for all the smoke. And I just believe that, you know, he's overrated, like I've said before, Floyd Mayweather voice. And this guy is just, we've been seeing in his last 3 or 4 fights, man, Canelo is he's declining, man. He on his way out. I don't see Canelo the combination punching, the volume, it's not there no more, man. And the power is not there. You know, I don't know what happened, man. Them computer raw burgers is not working no more. And, you know, you got Frank Sanchez getting spectacular KOs and stuff like that coming out of Reynoso camp. So I don't know. Maybe they did up the doses on Canelo. Them patties is not strong enough. So, you know, with thinking about this, I think mbili has a really great chance to shock the world, because people still think Canelo's something special. And I feel like if mbili wins, it's not going to be an upset. I don't consider it to be an upset. I just think that it's a competitive fight. They could go either way. Either way, man. I think this is a 50-50 fight. Slight edge to mbili, because mbili has the winning momentum on his side. I'm not saying that, you know, he's had the better fights or nothing like that. You know, we know Canelo's been in there a lot tougher. But with that much being said, man, Canelo mentally, man, you know, when you coming off a loss like this and this is your 3rd one, I think this definitely is a different. This is different, man, for Canelo. And Canelo is gonna definitely have L on his mind going into this fight with Christian mbili. And I think Christian mbili has all the momentum. He's the new champ, and he gotta just command his presence in there, man, when he get in there with Canelo. You can't just be, you know, fighting like a challenger. You gotta fight like the champ. And I don't see Canelo with having the speed advantage. I don't see Canelo having the power advantage. Experience, yes. You know, reflexes is not really there like that. And his best asset is still his chin. You know, I'll give Canelo that. Canelo can take a punch. What's up, Saul? He says, rematch Bud. Nah, Canelo tried, but he didn't win or win rematch. He should have retired like Bud did. I agree, bro. Canelo's done enough. I just felt like his performance is going to get a lot worse. It's not really a real knock to Canelo. It's just that, bro, you got a lot of miles on you. You know, you got a lot more fights than a lot of guys who are older than you. You know, and that's just credit to you, man. You are active. Canelo, you've been getting busy your whole career. And I think that, man, it's coming to an end. Canelo's career is coming to an end. If he loses to mbili, I think he definitely needs to retire. You know, I understand pride and stuff, Mexican pride, but you don't want to hurt your pride. You don't want to hurt your legacy any more than what it already has been. Because him getting whooped by Bud Crawford, that was a legacy. That hurt his legacy. You know, the guy coming up two weight classes, the way Crawford did it, yeah, man. And then the way you swerve Benavidez, yeah. So I just felt like, if you lose to Mbili, go ahead and retire. Because just gonna get a lot worse. The excuses are gonna be far more extreme, and nobody got time for that shit. He says, I agree. He tried his best. No shame and lost to Bud. Yeah, man. So there was no shame in him getting. It was easy money. So that's just something he got to live with. But that's really all I got for this one, man. I got a slight edge towards Mbili because coming off an L, and I think that he don't have a whole lot left, man. I think he's at the tail end of his career, and I don't know. He might need the knockout versus Mbili because Mbili is way more active. Throws a lot more punches than Canelo in that boxing ring. So we'll see if Canelo can up the volume, as that one song say. And we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll get a spectacular KO like Frank Sanchez did. We'll see. He said, before I go, let me get, like I said before, Canelo Alvarez. Like I said before, Canelo Alvarez, 3 losses, 2 draws, Eddie Reynoso. So, yeah, man. We got to see what this guy can do, man. He got to keep it. He got to get back in the winning column for the Reynoso camp, for his own career. Because Reynoso camp just got a dub by Frank Sanchez. So, shout out to Frank. Hopefully, he passes drug test. That's why I ain't really been giving that man so much credit. Because we know how it go. You got to wait 2 or 3 weeks for a Reynoso fighter. Because they might pop. But if he did it clean, shout out to him, man. Flame of fame. But I'm going to wait. So, best of luck to Canelo Alvarez. His hair is starting to thin out a little bit. You know what I mean? Starting to look a little old, man. You know what I'm saying? So, best of luck to Young Hurt when you fight Christian Mbili. Let's see if you can bounce back from a loss. On to the next, man. BHP.